Welcome back. I'm now here with David Ward, a Newcastle City Councilman, and also has a background in social services. And David, thank you for coming down and joining me on the bench and being part of the conversation.
Thank you for the invite. I appreciate it.
Awesome. David, I've got to know over the past couple years, working with City Council. Love the relationship we have now and working together with each other and being part of a task force. What have you seen with this task force? We've met a couple times now, and I've been working with Chief Kumo a lot with it. But why did you feel something like that was important with the mission and the council trying to work alongside each other?
For the last 4 years, the homeless has been a big concern in the city and a big concern for the constituents as well. So with my social service background, being a social work, master level social work, this is my bread and butter right here. And I think I'm the only one on council who has this background. So talking with Mayor Mark Aliska, it was a no-brainer to let me join this task force. And I think the biggest thing is just tackling just that, the homelessness in the community, not necessarily shipping these individuals out, but just offering them different resources and programs in our city. Newcastle has a lot of social service agencies. We have a lot of services and a lot of programs that our community don't know about. So I think one of the benefits of this task force is educating not just the homeless, but our whole community of the resources that's out there in social services.
Yeah, and that's something we're trying to do with this 24-hour live cast. I had Nicole here from Rise. LCAP will be here sometime tomorrow. One of the big things that we're really working on is breaking out of the silos that we're in and all of us working together. And I feel that has really improved recently. Using LCAP, for example, we talk all the time now. We used to talk before, and I'm not saying we never worked together, but those communication channels have been open. More of us are sitting at the table together, and that's what I love, because it takes every one of us. It takes the faith-based partners of the community, it takes the agencies, it takes the city, and it takes the county government. It takes all of us to lift these individuals, because one thing that's interesting is when you look, we use a system called Mission Tracker to help kind of record who comes in to our mission and where do they come from. And
is that countywide?
That's countywide.
Wow.
So one of the misconceptions is, well, everybody from the mission is an out-of-towner. And actually, when you look at it, so far this year, 52% of the people that have come into the mission are from Lawrence County.
Oh, wow.
Over half of the people are right from this county. And then our serving area is Mercer, Butler, Beaver, and parts of Allegheny County before they go down to Light of Life.
So are we regional?
So we are regional. We serve those counties because there's no shelter in Butler. There's a small one in Sharon, Joshua's Haven, and Beaver just opened it, so we're seeing a decrease there. But when you look at those tri-county, that's almost just under 75% of the population we serve.
Wow, so that's alarming.
So a lot of the people we're serving are our people. They're not like Pastor Gavroy was here just a little bit ago saying about the days when people would ride the train in, stick in Newcastle for a month, hop back on the train and ride it somewhere else. We're not seeing that. So that's why it takes all these agencies, because some of these individuals are coming through our doors 3 or 4 times.
Yes.
And everybody deserves multiple chances, but it takes all of us working together, that we're not just meeting one thing that's keeping them out of housing, that we're keeping them and giving them every tool they need. So they're getting the mental health component, they're getting food resources, they're getting the primary physician care that they need, and basic life skills. They need all this stuff to have the best chance of getting out of homelessness.
Absolutely. Do you feel like just that aspect of the second chances to our individuals, do you feel like the nonprofits, social service agencies, were enabling these individuals with that?
I don't think so. I mean, one of the things we try to do here is not enable somebody. When somebody comes into our shelter, they get 30 days and they're meeting with our pastor service caseworkers, and basically what they do is they say, hey, in 30 days, you got to call somebody for housing. You have to get mental health if you need it. You have to see primary care. And here's the thing, if they are doing all this, we know they're not going to get housing in 30 days.
Right.
There's a huge lack of affordable housing. It's not a Lawrence County issue. It is a national issue. We know in 30 days they're not going to get housing.
Right.
But if you're doing everything you can, okay, you're still going to be here. So our average length of stay is 45, 50 days, sometimes while housing comes available. So again, we're not trying to say, hey, just come in, sit, relax, you got 30 free days. So no, we're not trying to enable them. It is a constant line you got to make sure you're on, because you never want to not serve somebody that needs it, and you don't want to enable somebody that's just looking to, get by. So no, I don't think our services enable. Are there a few people that maybe fall through the cracks and abuse it? Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, everything gets abused. We're not blind to that.
I think a lot of people in our community, they feel like our social service agencies are just doing that, enabling these individuals to keep coming back. We got the frequent flyers in social service terms that these individuals are coming in month after month or week after week for our services. But like you said, everyone deserves that second chance, that third chance. You might not get it that fourth chance. It might have to take you that sixth chance to actually get it. But why do you feel like our community has that sort of perception with the homeless and the mental health field?
I don't think it's just our community. I think it's across this country. When I travel across, talk to other missions, they all see the same thing.
Wow.
That's one of the reasons we're doing this. It's to get the true stories out and say, hey, these aren't just numbers. We're not just talking 18% increase in homelessness. These are individuals, and they all have stories. And their stories are all different. And what will surprise people is when they hear some of these stories, and we'll have some of them come on this bench throughout the next 24 hours, they're going to hear the stories and say, hey, these are actually human beings. These are our brothers and sisters.
Absolutely.
And we're called to lift them up. That's what we're trying to do here. Get the true stories out, because I think that is a thought that is across this country of, well, they're just being enabled, there's reasons for it, and it's just a number. And there's people behind these numbers.
I like it.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons I have really enjoyed the task force, because I'm seeing improvement with it. And I can't wait for Chief Kuma to come in and talk about our street outreach.
Outreach is so huge.
It's
so huge.
Because you can't force people in.
No, man.
When you force them in, the odds go down big time that you're actually going to be able to help them.
Because now you're telling someone what to do, and people don't like being told what to do.
Exactly.
You got to meet them where they're at.
Right. So that's where street outreach is key, because we're out there encouraging people. We're not forcing them into the mission, but we're saying, hey, look, you're not going to be able to stay in this spot. You're going to have to move along. Why keep moving? Come in. We're going to give you a hot meal. We're going to give you a warm bed. We're going to try to help you. And I think one of the things that have really helped us in Newcastle over the past 4 years is now every police officer in Newcastle has an information card.
Wow.
With a number, but basically it gives our basic rules. And there was a lot of misconception on our rules. Perfect example is officers would tell me, hey, we met somebody at 3 a.m. They told us they weren't allowed at the mission. Well, now the officers can call, give us the individual's name, and we'll say, are they on restriction or not? No one at the mission is banned for life. But that's what I kept hearing.
That's a huge one right there, is that misconception right there that you could be banned from the mission.
And no, we have rules. You can be, just like school where you get suspended, you can be restricted. We have to have rules. You can't be fighting. You can't be fighting verbally, physically. You cannot be stealing. You cannot be openly drinking or using drugs in our facility. That is not allowed. We are a smoke-free facility. We have outside smoking, so you can't smoke inside the building. So we have those basic rules. And again, we don't want to see anybody out on the street, but we have to keep order inside the mission.
That's understandable.
So people can be restricted for 30 days, and then they can come back in. The other thing is, when individuals say they're banned, it is so nice now that the police pick up a phone and they can now say, hey, no, you're not banned from the mission. You're not restricted from the mission. I can take you down there right now.
Have we always had that relationship with our law enforcement?
We've had that relationship. I think it's got a lot stronger over the years. And I think part of it is, when I met with Chief Kumo and even Bobby back when he was chief, you know, it was that misconception of
Yes.
the rules. I'll be honest, one of the best parts when I was new to the mission is the homeless population didn't know me.
Wow.
So when they would say, hey, I'm not allowed at the mission, I have the database on my phone. Hey, what's your name? Oh, no, come on, let's go.
Love that.
That lasted about a year. But no, I think that with us doing street outreach and working with them, our police are great. And we're seeing some good change with that. Part of it too is the police now are calling us, hey, we found somebody in a tent under this bridge. Can you go check on them? Yep, and we're out there. And we're out there trying to get out there 2-3 days a week.
Even after hours, after normal business hours?
Usually it's during the hours, we don't go out at night. But no, usually right now it's, you know, we head out at 8 a.m. and we'll go out until 4 or 5.
Wow.
And then during the night, the police bring them to us.
For that individual who comes in at, let's say, 2 o'clock in the morning, is there someone at the mission that's able to look up that data for that
Yes.
police officer to bring
Yep.
them down?
We have our front desk guys, our intake people, when they come in.
So it's 24/7?
Yep, it's 24/7. They pull it in and we'll give them a place to sleep for that night. You know, we even have, if our beds are full, we might use a bench out in the front lobby. But we will get them a place in for that night as long as they're not on restriction. And then the next morning, they're meeting with one of our pastors.
That's good.
We give people a couple days to kind of get used to being in the mission and that shelter type of life, but then we're working with them.
I love that. How many beds do we hold?
So right now we have in our men's facility, we have roughly about 45 beds. For our men's, we have another 11 beds for recovery, and then we have a few beds for Advantage Stay. We have about 12 beds there. So we can house roughly 60, 65 men a night.
That's huge.
And then in the winter months, we'll go into overflow. Our biggest challenge right now is sheltering women. We have 12 beds that we share between transient and those that are in our recovery programs. And that's a need that my board's talking about. How do we meet that need? Arise is meeting part of it too, but they're always full.
Yes.
So we want to keep working together with them, but that's something I've been asking everybody on the live stream. Pray for us that God opens up those doors, and myself and the board are actively talking and looking into the options. But that's something we need to address very soon.
Is there any, have we had any talks with our legislative leaders, our state and federal, for possible funding or grants or anything?
As far as the mission, we don't take any government funding. So no, we don't approach them for funding, but I have been in talk with our state representatives, and then every year in March, Citygate Network, we go down to Washington, D.C. and meet with our federal politicians, and it's not to ask them for money for us, but it's to ask them to support certain laws that are coming into place that can help us. For example, when they have laws that are going to increase affordable housing, for example, we will help promote those because those only help the nonprofits in Newcastle that take that government money for housing. So again, we're all in it together. So we go down and we talk to them every year. Congressman Kelly was actually here. He visited the mission about 4 or 5 months ago. Marla Brown comes down. We've had the mayor over. We've had you guys from council over. Because again, even though we don't take any funding from the government, we want to work with the government and be part of the puzzle.
Community collaboration.
It is.
That's it, you know. What about the possibility, and I know I'm asking a lot of questions, I'm sorry about that, Jack.
That's the whole point of this.
What about possibly even not relocating, but getting another building? Is that a possibility?
It's something the board is always thinking about. It's part of, you know, our strategic plan. This is a very, very old building. And it's part of that strategic plan of, you know, how do we maintain this building? How do we expand this building? So we're looking at those questions all the time, and it's something that we pray about. And the thing is, what I love about what the mission does is, you know, we will meet for a month and then we'll pray about it for a month and then we come back. Because one of our challenges is we are a straight nonprofit.
Right.
Like I said before, it takes about $2.25 million to operate the mission, and we raise that money through donations every year. And I'm thankful for all you donors out there who have supported us the years. We have donors that have supported us 30, 40
That's
years.
huge. That's huge.
But whether it's this building or anywhere, the need's still in Newcastle.
Absolutely.
So we have to meet that need, and we have to meet it the best way we can to show those that we serve with dignity and love. That's the biggest thing that sets us apart. Us being faith-based, we're trying to model and be the hands and feet of Jesus Christ. We're trying to show that love and compassion and just being there for them and trying to help them up. I said it earlier, you should never look down on somebody unless you're lifting them up.
Man, preach that.
And, that's the one thing we have to do is lift up. Because to me, the best thing about Newcastle is the people here. I've been here my whole life. My family's been here. I'm a retired firefighter from Shenango Township. And the thing I see every time something happens in this community, the people come out
We rally.
and lift each other up.
That is true.
So that's what we got to do for the homeless population right now. As people, we got to come around them, all work together and rally and lift these individuals up.
It's just like that stigma with mental health, that stigma with drug addiction, stigma with homelessness. We're fighting this fight, and we probably ain't gonna be able to solve this fight in our lifetime. But we gotta continue this fight, because not just keeping the fight up, but also spreading the awareness and educating our folks in our community that they are just us.
Yeah.
We are one choice, one decision away from being in a crisis call.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like you said, just spread love.
Yeah. And we
Stop
all had to
judging.
lean on somebody at some point in our life. Every one of us. None of us have made it through life alone. We all have those people we need to lean on. And that's what we have to do. Because here's the thing. If nobody's here to lean on them, that darkness is just going to grow. And that darkness is just going to get bigger. And the homeless population, if nobody's here to help serve it, is going to go up.
Yes. It takes a village.
Those in addiction, if the recovery programs aren't here, it's going to go up. We have to be there to be that bright light of hope for them. And again, it's one thing I love about being faith-based is it's not for me, it's not for the staff here. We're doing it to honor God because we feel called to that.
Doing His work.
So it's our calling, and we're happy to do it and serve our community because I see the good in this city. I see the good in this community. That's why I'm still here.
It's alarming that how we're regionalized and other counties around us doesn't have a city rescue mission.
Right.
That's low key crazy.
Yeah, I mean there is a city rescue. It's rescue mission in the Mahoning Valley, over in Youngstown. But then the next gospel rescue mission is Light of Life in Pittsburgh.
Wow.
And the Erie City mission up in Erie. Those are the next closest ones.
So you're thinking about Beaver, Butler, Mercer, Venango. Like we're missing a lot of counties.
Beaver does have a county shelter.
Okay.
So it's a government-run shelter.
But it's not faith-based.
It's not faith-based, but they just opened it, I think, last year.
Okay.
So it's fairly new. There is a rescue mission called Joshua Havens. It's a little bit smaller up in Sharon. So it is meeting that need. But yeah, there's not much around here. We're the largest shelter between here and Erie.
But we're still getting, even 52% of our homeless population is coming from the city and the county. We still got 48 that's coming outside.
Yeah.
That's a huge number.
It is a huge number. Now, about the good thing is when you look at the numbers again, that Tri-County is our biggest population. Only about maybe 10 to 12% of those coming in are out of state.
Oh, wow.
But you also got to remember, we're really close to the
Right.
state line. So we do get people from Mahoning County. But, there is that thought out there that 90% of the people are coming out of state and being bused here. And that's not true, because somebody called me just this week, asked about, well, can agencies and hospitals just dump people there? That's a federal crime. It's illegal.
I was going to say,
You're not
can you
allowed
talk
to do
about
homeless
that more?
dumping.
Because that's been the thing I've been seeing on social media a lot the last couple of
Yeah.
years, is that people are getting on buses and dropping them into cities like
No,
Newcastle.
You're not allowed just to ship people off. We do help people relocate. If we get somebody in here and they're like, my family is, we just had an individual now come into our mission. His family was from Phoenix.
Wow.
He's like, that's my support system. So we didn't just send him to Phoenix. He was here for about 4 months. We worked getting him reconnected with his family. We worked with introducing him to a mission down in Phoenix. We made sure those individuals
That's
are there.
good.
And then he goes, well, how am I going to get back? I'm like, that's part of what we want to do. That's your biggest success rate. Your family's there. And he said he loved the Newcastle area, but he wanted to be with his family.
Right.
So that's what missions do.
That's a win right there. That's a win.
Yeah. So again, this isn't a Greyhound bus station where everybody's shipping people in. We do get transients from out of the area. I mean, that's just homelessness. That's always been the way. People will hitchhike and that to get to different areas. But it's not the highest population. It's actually over 50, like I said, 52%
Wow.
is straight from Lawrence County.
Now, for the intake process, do they have to have insurance, active insurance?
No, all our services are offered free of charge. So nothing we do here do we charge the people that come through. Our donors, thankful for them because they're the ones that make that possible. When we do team up with Primary Health in that, if they do have insurance, they will use it. If not, Primary Health is free of charge.
Wow.
Through government programs that they offer.
Right.
So everything that they get through us is 100% no cost to those we serve.
That's a blessing. That's a blessing right there.
So if there's one thing you could see in our city change, what would it be that would, what's your one goal that you would love to see change in this city when it, like I said, I really do think our strongest people or our strongest asset are the people.
I think it's the ignorance. It's that negative perception. Even on the city council side of things, my biggest goal is trying to eliminate that dark cloud over our people, over our community. That's what I would love to occur, and not read a headline on social media and run with it and think that's what's going on. If I could change that, I think I've done my job. Ultimately, it's the perception.
And listen, we got to focus on the good.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody asked me from Ford Lawrence, what's the one thing I wish I could do? And that was it. We have so much good in this community. We need to celebrate that.
I say it all the time on council, even our smallest victors, our smallest wins, let's celebrate that.
Yeah.
Like our facade program just gave out $85,000 to help small businesses.
Yeah.
That's a win for our community. That's a win for our city.
Yep.
Why are we not celebrating that? Why ain't that on the front page of the news?
You got to celebrate the little things. And, that's one of the things I love. We get to do that daily here when we see those successes and God blesses us with them. We celebrate them.
Even the people that you serve, they have a small win. We celebrate that.
You got to celebrate.
That's a milestone for them,
It is. When somebody graduates our recovery program, we have a huge graduation ceremony where we invite the church that they got involved with. We invite our recovery guys. We invite their family. And, we do a whole graduation ceremony for them. And then we have refreshments afterwards. So I agree with you. We got to celebrate the good.
That gives folks just that sense of value, and I feel like our community lacks that because even seeing in social services, working in a school district, a lot of our youth, they struggle with that. They don't think highly of themselves. They have low self-value. And it's like, how do we get that good in them? Like, how do we sell that to the youth and to our folks?
And we owe that to our kids. We owe that to the next generation to let them know, hey, there's a lot of great out there. So I appreciate you coming down. I appreciate you being part of the communication and part of the conversation. Again, this event will be going on all through tomorrow. So be praying for me as I get through that.
Absolutely. I'll be sending my prayers up tonight.
I appreciate working alongside you and council and the mayor and the police. I really appreciate us all sitting at the table and looking at this together of how we can best address it.
Jack, I thank you for the opportunity. And like I said, anything I could do to help this community thrive, I'm all for it.
Awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it, man.